Hello, welcome back to Emerge, the health podcast for busy, high performing women. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Swenson Ridley. Today, we're going to dive into something that I've been mulling over in my mind over the last couple weeks, I would say, and that is around, the things we allow to limit us and how we address adversity is what I want to call it. And in thinking about this, there's been conversations I've been having with clients or, people who've recently become clients of mine, as well as, just things I've been thinking about in my own life and interactions, especially with my son, where I wanted to just bring some thoughts and some light to these things. And I actually wanted to start with a story of not, related to me at all or anyone I'm working with necessarily at this point, but we all know those people in our lives who have overcome like incredibly difficult things and found a way to find joy and live and, in spite of their circumstances and not allow those things to really define them. And one of those people that I know personally is a woman. She's married to one of my husband's best friends, and I've known her before he and I got married, but she was in a really bad accident at 16 and was completely paralyzed. I think her neck was broken, and so she's a quadriplegic basically. And she has shared her story in multiple places. She went from being really depressed and just wanting to die to really embracing life and living to her fullest. I mean, she and her husband got married after she was in a wheelchair, and they've had a kid, and she works, she does all the things, and she lives life fully expressing who she is and what she is in spite of being in a wheelchair and having some extra needs, and they have a caregiver and all of those things, but she's just found this way to really be who she is and be present and doing all the things in spite of what she's been through. And in thinking about that, I was thinking about so many of us come up with challenges. For me, it's been my wrist. And my 8-year-old son wants to like wrestle and do boy things, right? And he'll grab my arm, and I'm always, and this has been a thing for years because my wrist has been torn for years. Even after surgery, it's now torn again. And so I'm always protecting this, and like, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Like, I don't really want to sled because it's going to hurt my wrist. And I don't want to do this because it's going to hurt my wrist. And I was, recently I've been bothered by this, I would say. And so part of my conversation with myself is, have I really been doing absolutely everything I can to heal this wrist to the point, like, is it as good as it's going to get? I'm really trying to avoid surgery a second time, and do I just have to accept some limitations, but not just accept it, but can I be, are there ways that I can be in the world and still find the ability to do some of the things that I want to be able to do, like, play with my kid or go sledding or do some of these things without hurting myself more. And, I think we all have to find those things and that point where we either accept that, like, no, we haven't done everything and it's time to get off our butts and do what we need to do to fully heal, right? And I've been in physical therapy and been, doing this stuff, but like, do I really do as much at home as I could, or am I really focused on it as much as I should be to truly like get to a point where it's going to be strong again and I'm not so concerned about hurting it more than it already is. And same goes with, your health, with your hormones, with maybe it's your weight. I know so many women that I talk to and speak with are struggling, whether it's to lose weight or just have energy or be able to do the things that they want to do. And, I was thinking about this, like one of the dream things that I hear from so many of my clients is basically not being limited by our physical bodies, right? And not being like having health be a concern and worrying about if you're living into good health or bad health, or if you're going to follow in the footsteps of people that you've watched, and kind of this fear around what your health could be. But saying, so many of us stay stuck in that versus deciding to do something about that. And this was something that I was really just present to when I had a new client. We just started working together like last week, and she shared, she just said straight up, like, I am not going to survive another 2 years at the point I'm at in my life. And she's, overweight, has all kinds of stuff going on. We got to some of the crux of what that is. But, she realized that she had to do something and had to do something differently. And part of that for her is working with me. And so we're taking those steps. But I also know, like, she's committed on this deep level, like, to doing something about this and to believing that it's possible to make changes and move her life and her health in a new direction. And so this is going to be, kind of a short just thought process through this. But for each of you, I want you to think about, what are the things that are holding you back, that are keeping you limited, that prevent you from maybe doing the things that you love to do, or from even knowing what those are anymore. Because that's something I hear from a lot of women. It's like, I don't even know what I like to do or what hobbies I have, because I haven't had time to think about it in so long. What are the things that we're allowing to stop us to not live our life to the fullest? Or, what are the adversities that we have maybe been through that we're allowing to define us, rather than choosing to live empowered and, in our greatness in spite of those. Like the woman I shared about, she's in a wheelchair and she like lives more life than anyone I know and is happier, and just, she's an incredibly awesome person. And we all have the capability of getting there. We just have to be willing to take the steps and do the work. Like, it was not easy for her to go from paralyzed in bed at 16 and wanting to die and kill herself to where she's at today. But that journey is totally possible, and it's about finding the tools and the resources that are going to help you get there. And that is a lot of what I do and help women work through, and have been on myself, and I'm still going through, because, we all come up against new things, and things change and all of that as we go and progress through life. So hopefully this helps serve you and, just inspire you to really think about this. And, if you're confronted by this and coming up against things that are scary, or that you don't know how to take on, or you don't even know where to start, or you're like, I know I need to do something differently, but I don't know what that is, and so far I haven't been able to find an answer around it, I'm here for you. Please reach out to me. My email is what I always give out, but dralex@emergentwomencoaching.com. If you just go on the website, emergentwomencoaching.com too, you can find ways to get in touch with me and contact me. So, I'd love to. Again, I'm not here to sell anybody anything. I'm here to enroll you in the own journey, like your own journey of what your life and your health can look like. And whether I'm part of that beyond just consulting with you or not is totally like up to you. And we decide if it's a fit in talking. But I'm really just here to help you take those steps and move in a positive direction, and find that place where you are living life to your fullest and not being defined by anything, even if it's being in a wheelchair, that has previously, been hindering you. So with that, we will see you on Thursday.